Yo, what's up? So, check this thing out. What's that look like to you? It's a pig, dude. This thing looks like a little pig, and that's what it's called, Pedro's Pig. And this is a chain cleaner. I've never owned one before, so I've always used this. This is how I've been cleaning my chain for several years. And it doesn't do a great job, it does a decent job, but I want to be a little bit more efficient. I want to clean my chain better and make my chains last longer. So this is where the pig comes in. I watched a couple reviews on different chain cleaners, and I was gonna go with the muck off one, but it had kind of poor reviews. Kind of disappointing because I like muck off products. But this one intrigued me with its little tail. Isn't that interesting? So this will actually hook onto the derailleur and stay in position as long as you line it up right. So we're going to check that out in a second, and you just run your chain through. So it's pretty much hands-free. Now the eyeballs are what releases it. So it's pretty cool. So snout's back on, eyeballs release it. You can pop the whole thing off there, and there you go. And inside you have your sponge, you have your little bristles here. Snap that back on, and then you have a fill line here. So we also have Pedro's Pig juice. Kind of a funny name, but it makes sense when you have the product there. So yeah, when I ordered this, my wife was like, what the is pig juice, dude? Yeah, it's degreaser. So we're gonna see how well Pedro's Pig juice works in the pig. All right, so we have the Ibis Ripley up on the stand with the SLX drivetrain here. As you can see, it's pretty filthy. There's even a little bit of surface rust right there. Come down to the chain right here. There's a little bit of surface rust on that chain as well. So she's pretty filthy and she needs to be cleaned up. Now, one of the most important things to do before you begin is obviously protect your brakes. So I don't have any of those fancy covers because I looked at getting them and they charge you like $40 for brake covers. That's insane, dude. A good thing to do is just get some cardboard. Pretty much everybody has cardboard because we all order packages. You can even use the box possibly that this Pedro stuff came in. I'll wedge that in there. And then yeah, there's a cutout on the bottom. So I just take the cutout that I had. So I just cut a little slit out of here. Pretty simple. And then I'll slide that slit kind of back in place. It'll hold there. Now this isn't 100%, so when you're done, make sure that you clean off the inside of the rotor there too. Just wipe everything off, make sure it doesn't get on the brake pads because you don't want that. All right, so I think we're gonna want this in somewhat of a lower gear here. I have it about a little bit over midway into the lower gear range, and it seems to be pretty straightforward there, and it's able to basically hook this on and it sits in line. So that's what you want. So you can see how the little tail attaches in here. It'll slide in there, slide on that, and sit on there. And then you take this, line that up like that, and bring your little piggy mouth down there. So we have our little piggy somewhat level with the ground there. We got our pig juice, and we're gonna fill it up to the fill line, pretty much right there, maybe just a tad bit more. And there we go. All right, and this is it. So now we're just gonna backspin it. And we don't really necessarily need to cover this just yet. Kind of getting ahead of myself, but that's when we're gonna actually spray the cassette itself. You don't have to do this just yet, but you know, got ahead of myself. Now it says to do this about 20 to 30 times, or 30 rotations. So I have no idea how many turns I actually did, but I did a ton of turns. It looked like it did a pretty good job of cleaning it. We're gonna have to wipe it off though. I still see some gunk in there on the sides. I have an idea what I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna take a rag and try to clean that off right here first and let it run through it again as I'm doing this. So I have that extra hand. It's gonna be hard to probably get the sides. I'm able to wipe it off a lot easier, but it's not really scrubbing it off. It needs to be doing a really good job on the interior of the chain, the inside. So take it off, pop the little eyes off. Let's pop this off here. There we go. Not to spill anything. Let's take a look inside here real quick. Yeah, that's some nasty stuff right there. And what we can do now is rinse this out and actually just put some water in there and run it through again with just some water to kind of get a little bit more clean. All right, so just put a little water in there. Slide that on there. All right, it's getting a lot of it off. You're gonna definitely have to, I mean, depending on how dirty your chain is, the sides, that thick grease on the sides is definitely struggling to come off. So let's get rid of the pig for now. Rinse this out, get rid of that, but there's still a bunch of gunk. Whoop. Bunch of gunk in there and spilling it over the place. So here's where your little cardboard cutout's gonna come into play here. Now this did not come with any kind of spray head. I have one laying around, so hopefully you have one laying around. If not, you might want to get one, or you can put it on a rag or put it on a brush and then just brush it on. Perfect. We can spin it while we do this too. A couple different brushes, and we're just gonna All right, now let's go give it a good rinse. So I wanted to make this a pretty simple cleaning, not going too crazy on it, and it looks like it did a pretty dang decent job. Now you put a little bit more elbow grease into it, I think it'll look a lot better. Here, check it out. So you guys remember what the before looked like, and this is after. Just that little bit of scrubbing and letting it saturate just for a little, like a minute. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now this chain has not had a cleaning like that in a little while, so it's still got some grease in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it again and get it really, really clean and actually put a lot of scrubbing into it. So let's go ahead and do that, but just wanted to give initial appearance here of what happens when you just do it quickly. Now this obviously needs quite a bit more, but I think it's gonna do the trick if we put a little more elbow grease into it. Here we go. So this is after the second go around, and I think it did a pretty damn good job. Now, as you can see, like here, there's some gunk built up there. A lot of sections like this, there's gunk built up in there. Yeah, I mean, you can't expect everything to be perfect when scrubbing through those little devices, but I think it did a pretty damn decent job, and we can get in there and get those cleaned up with a rag. I think the cassette came out really phenomenal. That looks really clean. There's still some greasy spots stuck in some of the crevices, of course, just like the chain. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the big gunk came off of the sprockets. There's like nothing on them, and especially this right here. So the Pedro's juice, I think, is a win. I think it does really well, and I like this product. All right, so what do you guys think about the little piggy? Now, I've never used any other one before, so I might be a little biased towards this one, but I think it did a pretty fantastic job. It was a very caked up, gunked up, greased up chain and sprocket. So yeah, I think it did a really good job cleaning up the cassette as well. Now that's obviously the pig juice, not just this. This is only regarding the chain. Now it did a really good job on the chain. It did miss some gunk on the sides of the chain and those build up corners, but I don't know if any other ones will really do any better than this would. I know there's some other ones that kind of like make your chain a lot tighter and might do a better job, but I didn't like how that put tension on your chain. So yeah, one of the biggest things, especially what sold me on it, is, like I talked about, is the little tail feature. I mean, it's hands-free. That's awesome. That's a huge win for me, that it really does a good job, and I don't have to sit there and hold it and spin the chain around. So I can do hands-free. I can spin the chain around and wipe it off as it's coming through the pig. That's a pretty cool feature. And only time will tell how long this thing will last. The most important thing is just make sure that you keep good care of your stuff. Make sure it's clean. You're putting degreaser in here, and degreaser will eventually probably erode this out and the plastic will become brittle. But if it lasts me a year or two, however long, then I'll be pretty satisfied with the product. Now, if you're interested in this and the juice, it's linked down below in the description. So if you use those links, they do help me out a little bit. So I do appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see some other reviews of other products, and maybe I'll buy them and test them out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.